On June 11th, 2026, Perplexity did something most people completely ignored. They moved their deep research engine into Computer, their AI system that routes complex tasks across 20 different frontier models simultaneously. The result is this. You type one research question, and 4 minutes later you have a 15-page cited market report, a competitive landscape analysis, or an investor-grade brief. What used to take a market research analyst 2 days now takes one prompt in 4 minutes. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how this tool works, who is already paying for this kind of output, what the realistic income looks like for someone offering it as a service, and the specific steps to land your first client this week. Here's the problem this solves, and why businesses will pay for it. Professional market research is expensive. A custom market analysis from a boutique research firm costs between $2,000 and $15,000 depending on scope and turnaround time. A full investor due diligence report runs $5,000 to $50,000. McKinsey and Bain do not take clients with budgets under 6 figures. But the demand for that kind of research does not sit only at the top of the market. Startup founders need competitor analysis before raising a round. Small business owners need to understand a new market before entering it. E-commerce brands need supplier landscape reports. Marketing agencies need industry briefs for their clients. These people all need professional research, and they cannot afford professional researchers. That gap has always existed. What changed on June 11th is that one tool now closes it convincingly. Perplexity Deep Research inside Computer runs hundreds of parallel searches, reads the sources, cross-references data points, flags contradictions, and delivers a structured cited document. It is not a summary of what you already knew. It is original synthesis from live web data, the kind of output that previously required a human analyst with domain expertise and a full working day. The business model opportunity is straightforward. You have access to this tool, your clients do not know it exists, and they are already used to paying for what it produces. Go to perplexity.ai. If you are on the free plan, you can test basic search, but to access deep research inside Computer, you need the Pro plan at $20 per month. That is the entry point for this business. The Pro plan has included Computer access since March 2026. You do not need the $200 max plan to get started. Once you are on Pro, you will see the Computer interface when you open a new session. Click on the / command panel, type a / and a menu appears with available modes. Select Deep Research. This is where the tool separates from everything else on the market. Here is an example of the kind of prompt that produces a saleable output. Type, research the top 5 competitors in the AI customer support tool market. Compare their pricing, target customer size, core differentiators, recent funding, and any documented weaknesses from customer reviews. Deliver as a structured competitive landscape report with citations. What happens next is worth watching closely on screen. Perplexity does not perform one search. It writes executable code that builds its own search pipeline, a new architecture the company calls search as code, and runs that pipeline across hundreds of targeted retrievals simultaneously. You can watch the sources accumulating in real time. After 2 to 5 minutes, you receive a structured document with section headers, comparative data, and numbered citations linked to their sources. The June 23rd update added one more layer that directly matters for selling this as a service. Once Deep Research delivers its output, you can keep working in the same thread. Type a follow-up instruction. Turn this into an investor-ready one-page brief, and Computer converts the research output into a formatted document, or ask it to produce a spreadsheet comparison, a slide deck outline, or a dashboard. The research and the deliverable now come from the same workflow in the same place. Pricing for running this as a service. Pro at $20 per month gives you Computer access. Each research task costs credits. A research-heavy deep research run costs roughly 50 to 70 credits. At approximately 1 cent per credit, that is 50 to 70 cents per report. You sell that report for $500. The margin is not a rounding error. Who actually pays for research reports, and what do they pay? The most accessible buyer is the startup founder preparing for a funding round. Investors ask founders about their competitive landscape, total addressable market, and the positioning of comparable companies that have already raised. Founders who do not have that data lose credibility in meetings. A competitive analysis delivered within 48 hours for $500 to $800 is an easy sell to a founder raising a $1 million seed round. The report directly improves their pitch. The second buyer is the marketing agency or consultancy that needs industry briefs for their own clients. Agencies regularly need sector reports to back up strategy recommendations. They either pay a junior researcher 2 days of billable time to produce one, or they buy it externally. If you can deliver a cited, structured report in 24 hours for $400 to $600, you are cheaper than their internal option and faster. The third buyer is the small business owner entering a new market or evaluating a major purchase decision. A restaurant group thinking about opening in a new city wants a local competitive analysis. A retailer evaluating a new product category wants a supplier landscape report. These are not glamorous research briefs, but they are straightforward to produce, and the buyer has a direct financial decision tied to the output. Rates here are lower, $300 to $500 per report, but the volume of potential clients is higher. On Upwork in June 2026, market research services are billing at $40 to $120 per hour. A 3-hour research project at $75 per hour earns $225. With Perplexity Deep Research, that same output takes 20 minutes of your time to commission, review, and format. You are not arbitraging skill, you are arbitraging time. The honest income picture for someone running this consistently, 2 to 3 reports per week at $500 average, is $4,000 to $6,000 per month. That is not a theoretical ceiling. That is what the market already pays for comparable output delivered to a comparable standard. The constraint is not output quality. Perplexity's law domain accuracy is 89.4% on external benchmarks. The constraint is client acquisition, which is where your time actually goes. Step 1. Sign up for Perplexity Pro at perplexity.ai today, $20 per month. Open computer mode, run the /command panel, select Deep Research, and run 3 practice reports on topics you already know well enough to evaluate the output quality. Industries you have worked in, markets you understand, companies you follow. This calibration step matters. You need to know where the tool is strong and where it needs your editorial judgment before you put it in front of a client. Step 2. Build 2 portfolio samples. Choose 2 different research types, 1 competitive landscape, and 1 market entry analysis. Run them in Perplexity, then spend 30 to 45 minutes editing the output. Verify citations, add a cover page with your branding, and format the document to a professional standard. These 2 samples become your selling asset. Step 3. Create a profile on Upwork with the title AI-Assisted Market Research Analyst. Your overview should open with the client's problem, need a competitive analysis but do not have time to build one. I deliver cited, structured market research reports within 24 hours. Describe your process, research scope, turnaround time, what the client receives. Step 4. Target your first 5 proposals at startup founders posting jobs related to pitch preparation, competitive research, or market entry. Read each post carefully. Name the specific market they are researching in your opening line. Offer your first report at a reduced rate, $250 instead of $500, in exchange for a detailed review. Collect 2 or 3 reviews before pricing at full rate. Step 5. After your first 3 clients, add a second deliverable to each project. When a client orders a competitive analysis, offer to also convert it into a formatted slide deck outline or a 1-page investor brief, using the same computer workflow. This second deliverable takes an additional 20 minutes, and you charge $150 to $200 for it. Clients who receive research plus a formatted deliverable leave better reviews and return faster. Let me bring this together. Perplexity Deep Research Inside Computer launched June 11, 2026, and updated again on June 23 with the ability to convert research directly into presentations, dashboards, and formatted briefs inside the same workflow. It is the most significant change to the research tool landscape this year, and most people using Perplexity have not discovered it yet. The economics of this model are unusually clear. The tool costs $20 per month. Each deep research run costs under $1 in compute. Professional market research firms charge $2,000 to $15,000 for the same category of output. Startups, agencies, and small business owners sit in the gap between those 2 numbers. They need research-grade deliverables, but cannot afford research-grade pricing. That is the gap you fill. 2 to 3 reports per week at $500 each is $4,000 to $6,000 per month. That is not the ceiling. That is the realistic median for someone running this consistently for 90 days. The tool does not slow you down. The only constraint is the sales side, and that starts with the first proposal you send this week. I have put together a free 1-page master business plan covering the full learning roadmap, tool stack with real costs, 3 portfolio project templates, and 30, 60 to 90 days income targets. The link is in the description, no email required. Subscribe if this format works for you. New video every week. 1 AI tool, 1 business model, real numbers,